Hi, everyone. Good evening from Arizona, but good morning and good afternoon to those of you in other parts of the world. This is Table Talk Thursdays with me, Elyse Ann Psychic. I am a psychic liaison, bridge to the unseen. And what this is an open forum, and as we're waiting for people to show up, I'll explain a little bit more. Is an open forum for us to discuss and share inspirational, metaphysical, psychic information. It's set up as an interactive, not supposed to, but an interactive situation. So I usually start. And hi, everyone. Welcome as you show up. Please say hi. Let me know you're here. And if you have a specific question about a specific topic, please feel free to put that into the comments. Hi, Tina. Welcome. Thank you for joining us this evening. So tonight, what I would like to talk about, say hi as you show up, everyone. Tonight, I want to talk about, now this word seems like it might be a bit heavy, but let's hear it all out. Um, this is what Spirit would like me to speak about tonight. And I'm going to start with a little story how I got here with that. So the other night I was speaking with a friend of mine. We were having a discussion and we were just talking about just all what's going on out there. I'm hearing from so many clients and friends and family. The energy is wild, out of control. Some people are physically feeling it. Some people are, energetically feeling it. And I said to her, because we were trying to like, why is everybody acting so like off the charts? Okay, there's a lot of hatred, vitriol, people taking sides instead of finding commonality. And it can be very disheartening. I know a lot of us are feeling that way. And so I said to her, all of a sudden, I just said to her, everyone is experiencing some form of trauma. And trauma, is a strong word, but the real definition of it is deeply distressing experience. And so Spirit said, okay, so tonight let's talk about that some. And by the way, as you show up, say hi. And if you want to add to the conversation, you have a comment about the topic, you have a question, a different question. Hello, Laura, about some other specific topic. Please feel free. This is going to be interactive. I say this every time. I'm not going to sit here and talk at you guys for an hour. So I know it sometimes takes you guys a little bit to warm up, to open up. But I'm hoping you'll jump in even sooner because that's where we get the best information. It's not just about me teaching you or sharing my experience with you. It's I want to hear because I'm here to learn too. And so it's about a sharing to help each other. How do we get through that? How do we work through that trauma, that energetic trauma that some people are just really finding it difficult to hang on, hold on, navigate life. And so this is about positive ways. This is not about bemoaning the trauma. It's about, how can we help ourselves? How can we help each other? Um, and, I myself have been feeling some of it because I'm such a heart-centered person. I always have been that I have been saying or commenting, I don't understand it. I mean, I do on the mind level, I can see and deduce what's happening, but it hurts my heart. My heart hurts. And, you know, that's the trauma that I feel with this. And so what do I do to help myself? And I'd love to know from you guys how are you managing the energy? How are you helping yourself with this intense energy and even, navigating your interpersonal relationships with this? I mean, this is such a big bag of or basket of eggs that I think it would be wonderful to give different ideas and be able to um, share it tonight. So, all right. So, what do I do when I'm feeling that trauma, that upset, that distress? And I know some of you may have seen, I think it was quite a few weeks ago, but I had hit a wall with it and I posted just about, how dismayed I was, but, but just praying for peace and decency. So what I like to do for myself is I'll step back. I'll feel what I'm feeling because I always firmly believe that we are human beings. Some people say spiritual being having a human experience. Yes, that's very true, but we also have the human having a spiritual experience. It's very real. They're both very, very real. And so I fully believe in allowing yourself a few minutes to process your emotions and to feel what you're feeling. But this is the key. Do your best for it to be only a few minutes. And then turn to what it is that makes you happy, what it is that uplifts you. And also ask yourself, what can I truly have an effect on? What can I do from where I stand? Because a lot of what's going on too is people are feeling like so overwhelmed, and it's almost to the point where they don't know what to do. And that too adds to the trauma and the upset because people, everybody just wants safety. Everybody wants to feel they matter. Everybody wants to feel they are loved. And that's why this is so difficult for so many people, and they're having such a hard time figuring it out because really we all want the same thing. And unfortunately, as a collective, that's not being handed out very much. There's a lot of anger, and that is where I say this trauma is because people are scared. That's really what's happening. We're living out this trauma. A lot of people are scared, they're anxious. I mean, you read posts, you can talk to your friends, you can talk to, your coworkers. Nobody knows. Nobody knows. Nobody truly knows. Even as a psychic, I don't, yes, I can get information and I do, but there are some things that just have to play out. And the one thing for me that I can say, and I hope you hear this really clearly, is I mean, from my perspective, what I see is us coming through this very dark period and ending up in a very good place, very happy, healthy, humankind, compassionate place. Now, some of you, and even myself, I go into my mind, I go, how, what? It's so far down the road. How are we going to bring it back? How's that going to happen? There's so much flying through the energy, right? As you arrive, say hello. Let us know you're here. And please feel free to add to the conversation or put a question in about a specific topic if you like. And let's get rolling on interacting and sharing. And by the way, if you're new here, it's Table Talk Thursdays with me. It's my weekly live. I am Elyse Ann Psychic, Psychic Liaison, Bridge to the Unseen. And Spirit and I created this for you, an open forum so that we could all just parse out what's on our minds, get some help, it's for me to help you guys along in your journey, but also, again, I love hearing from everybody else because I have my experiences and I love to hear from other people. So, what can you affect? What can you truly affect in your world? Because there's so much overwhelming stuff going on, it's very hard to kind of get that clear, if you will, in your head. And it is very overwhelming. And so step back, take a breath. I know I say that a lot, but it's true. Step back and take a breath. Pause for a moment because so many times there's so much, and I can feel it energetically in a lot of people. We're forgetting to breathe. I mean, it's not funny, but it's true because the tenseness of the energy. So I step back, I take a breath because I myself too am feeling it. And I have my own, let's say, fears or concerns, really more concerns. But there are several things I say to myself. First of all, I'm always reminding myself, and this is not just for this time period, I mean, throughout my life and more, um, the, we contracted to be here during this time period. We agreed that we were going to come on this planet and help lift the vibration. we agreed that we were going to be part of this big plan to bring compassion and love and humanitarianism and decency to the world. Some of you, I'm sure, are like, that sounds like a really big task. But this is the thing. If we really step back and look at the basics, I do believe that really the majority of people really want that, if not all. But we are motivated through the space or from a place of fear, anxiety, being overwhelmed, concern for ourselves and our loved ones. And so all those other, if you will, for lack of a better way of putting it, less positive, that's the way I'll put it, less positive emotions and feelings and actions start to come out because everybody is in trauma. And when we're in trauma, it's the fight or flight. So unfortunately, not only is all of this going on in our outside world, it's triggering a lot of things for a lot of people. So again, I want to say, do the things that make you happy. Unplug. Turn on the music. There are days sometimes I'll do it multiple times a day. Okay. Again, I'm psychic. I do this. I live, very much through the spiritual space of things, but I also am human. And I have a future I'm looking at that I would like to see it in a certain way. And so again, I lean on my spirit team an awful lot. And if you're not sure, you're like, well, are they really there with me? Or is that really, the thing to remember is they are always with you. And you can look at situations in your past life, excuse me, situations that have occurred in the past in this life. um, sorry, I was just getting a quick message. Somebody was sharing this for me on different pages. All right, so sorry, I got distracted. So when you look at your life, you can see where looking back, where things always worked out and spirit showed up. Okay. And so if we believe it, in most times, there's nothing different about this time. And again, it's unfortunate that we're going through the type of trauma and experience we are. It's a collective. So part of what I want to share tonight too is people are having a bit of a difficult time discerning what is theirs and what is not theirs. What do I mean by that? Emotions, feelings, energy. Okay. So, and a lot of people, this is really huge for everyone to hear. A lot of people are actually empathic, have a sensitivity, you're energy sensitive. I mean, we are naturally that as human beings, okay? And so also you may have heard the terminology that hi Angel Heart and hi, okay, Laura and hi Carrie. I got so involved in what I was doing, I wasn't reading some of my comments. So let me just finish this thought. We'll go into all these comments. It's awesome. Um, so See, I keep doing it. They keep pulling me away they keep getting me here and there. So I'm a little distracted. I apologize. There's always a reason for it. Okay, so just okay, this is the saying they're reminding me. The saying is this. I'm sure some of you have heard the veil is thinning. And somebody are, what does that mean? Well, the vibration of the energy is rising, which means we're elevating, we're ascending. But that also, as we ascend, it brings us higher, if you will, and closer to the higher vibrational beings. So that means it's kind of like if you do the analogy, you see somebody a block away that you can try and yell and hopefully they'll hear you. They may faintly hear you, right? Okay, so think of it that way. So as our vibration is raising, even though it doesn't feel like that, that is what's happening. Okay. Those that have contracted to bring the light and the love, the vibration is expanding, which affects hopefully everyone. That's a ripple effect. Okay. So you're standing down the block from a neighbor or somebody, and you're yelling at them. You can't really necessarily, they don't hear so well, right? Because you're far away. It's the distance. Same thing in the spirit world. As we're vibrating higher and higher, we're ascending, we're becoming closer to the vibrational beings. So that's why we can hear them better, feel them better, or better yet, experience them better, clearer, stronger. Okay. So this is all part of the plan because when I say plan, where where does where does unconditional love reside? Spirit. It's all about unconditional love. We are part of that unconditional love. It's just we're mired in the physical and we're kind of, if you will, dragged down into it. So it can make it a little harder to feel that love. But keep remembering at the core of who you are. Keep remembering at your core who you are. And also, just if you can, remember everybody is really kind of looking for the same thing. I have to believe that people want the peace, the quiet, the decency. Just some people are acting so much out of anger and fear. And I am not saying one side or the other. This is not really about politics, it's our society in general. Okay? Just want to be real clear because one thing I do is stay out of the politics of it all. But I'm just saying I mean, we all know it. People just don't seem to be able to agree to disagree or be open to other people's points of view. Everybody has their life experiences that they're coming from. So even though you may vehemently disagree, try your best to offer that other person the benefit of the doubt. Just like you would like to be given the benefit of doubt, or at least valued for how you feel strongly. Okay, I know it's a little tough, but that's something I know for myself I've been working on too, because I have my personal opinions, but and I have every right to it. But I also know that other human being does too. Now, I may not agree with it or understand it, like from like what makes sense to me, but that's not really for me to judge. Judgment puts you into a negative space. So, okay, let me get to some of these comments. Awesome. Okay, so Laura, I detach first. Sometimes it's hard to feel again afterwards. Okay, I end up just barreling through the day, almost like a workhorse with my head down. Then sometimes I get glimpses of how I'm feeling, but it usually takes me a while to define what it is I'm feeling. Okay, awesome. Um, Detaching is a good thing, actually. You When I say that though, let's be clear about those words that I just said, because it can be interpreted in a lot of different ways, and people tend to have their own way of looking at it. So we don't want to like detach from our human body. We're not talking about that. We always want to stay connected spirit to human body. We don't want to necessarily detach from Mother Earth because she's part of what grounds us. Okay. But when you say detached, Laura, I think what you're talking about is you kind of take a step back and you kind of shield yourself and you disconnect in some ways. Be careful not to disconnect totally. Sometimes, though, I get it's all we can do to get through it. Just like you said, you keep your head down. Okay, it's kind of like the duck and cover, right? And I get that because I've done it too, and that's great to do. If it's too overwhelming, disconnect. Nothing says you have to be involved in it. Nothing says you have to prove your side of things. Okay, that's sometimes how we get pulled in because I'm right and the other person's like, well, I'm right. Well, from your own perspectives, each of you are right. Okay, so and you would want to be honored in that way, and they want to be honored in that way. So, in some ways, it's kind of like conflict resolution in a way. This does hold some of that, but this is coming from spirit that I'm sharing it with you. So, okay, so Laura also says, I'm really focused on the future. That's how I'm dealing. I also figure out what is really within my control. That's awesome. And hi, Alyssa. Um, Okay, Alyssa, excuse me a minute. Alyssa, I'm so glad you joined us this evening. This is actually Table Talk Thursdays this evening. It's an open forum that we discuss specific topics. My reading live is weekly Wednesdays, which is where I do my psychic mini readings, spirit messages from your spirit team with me, Elyse Ann Psychic. So this evening, I am not doing mini readings, but I hope that you'll stay with us this evening, Alyssa, because messages are coming through in different ways. This is about that also. But also, so everybody that's here will know, some of you are probably aware already, I do a weekly Wednesday live. Also, I have this one Thursday evenings, and then my mini readings are Wednesdays, 11 a.m. Arizona time. With the time change this weekend, everybody else falls back. We stay the same. So we will actually be the same as Mountain Standard Time coming up. So I know it's a little confusing. I'm going to be reminding people of this. I even get confused and I live here. So, okay. All right. So, okay, so I'm going to ask, hold on a second here. I'm going to ask those that are here right now. Laura gave us some good information as to what she does. And I'm going to address that. But in the meantime, I would love for you to share kind of how you guys are navigating. You can tell you guys I'm from the East Coast. I've lived all over the country, but that's my origins or my origin. And what are you doing to help yourself through this? How do you find it best to handle it? Or are you finding it really difficult to handle it and why? And let's see if we can address some of that too. So Laura says she's really focused on the future. So what I ask with that is, how are you focused on the future? Why do I ask that? And Laura, you don't necessarily have to answer in the comments. You can if you want, but I'm just saying it's more posing it to answer it myself in some ways. But focusing on the future is good. Reminding yourself that everything works out is good. Making your plans still. Listen, guys, I said this from the very beginning when everything just seemed to be going kind of, wild. And I said this to my family and I've said it to friends. No matter what, life will go on and we'll figure it out. Okay. I do see a lot of good on the other side of this chaos. I really do. What the time frame is, I'm not really sure. But I know in my heart that we are moving towards what I would consider I was going to say better, but that's really judgmental, a more loving, compassionate, understanding, inclusive world. I don't feel things can sustain. We as human beings are really not meant to live in anger and fear and hurt and pain. We as spiritual beings and as being incarnated in this lifetime again, that is our universal right, our spiritual right. We are unconditional love, really. That is what spirit is unconditional love. And yes, we came here to have our experiences, which are sometimes, not the most fun or what you might consider, the negative side of the emotions, but that's just to grow our soul. And actually, ultimately, is to bring us into more and more unconditional love. So there is a beauty to this if you can hold on to that. What do we see with our eyes and what is our knowingness? Okay. So that's what I say about, all we really have in some ways is the present. That's what we can, really, that's all that really exists is the present moment. And that's where we are creating from. But that's why it's great to focus on the future, because everything you're imagining or visualizing now, whether it be on the positive side of things or not so positive side of things, is creating in the energy, and it's all creating before we actually arrive there. So whatever you may be creating right now is already happening in the energy, and you just are going to walk down that road a little further to meet that energy. So that was said not to get anyone concerned or upset about maybe some of the things they have been thinking, because again, with grace, you are human. Please, please, please. I know, because I used to beat myself up. I'm supposed to be all positive. I'm not supposed to, have judgment. I was a lot of supposed to not and do this and do that. And I was human and I wasn't evolved enough yet to really not be in that space. And I beat myself up instead of allowing myself some grace and saying, okay, I'm learning a new habit. I'm learning a new way of living. Now, I have to be honest. I've gone down this path for a long time. I have come a very long way and healed. But hey, I have my times too. Okay. I get angry and there's some choice words I might fling at the laptop. I don't fling it at anybody. I just fling it at the laptop. Okay. And I just kind of take a breath and I say, okay, that was the human side of things. I'm upset. I'm angry because I know what I want. Okay. Instead of putting my energy there, I'm going to pull myself back to the positive, what I really want in my life. And that many times will pull me back and get me into a better space and place. So let's see. Carrie Ann says, I find highs where I am excuse me, I can't even speak. I find highs where I am super productive one day, then unable to function the next, energetically high, then depleted. It's like I'm on a crazy spiritual or energy roller coaster. I never know what to expect when I open my eyes in the AM. Great stuff to bring up, Carrie Ann. So glad you did. Let me address quite a few things in there. Hi, Miranda. Welcome. Okay. And by the way, Laura added, I see a boundary-less, like without boundaries world. What a beautiful vision. We should all rejoice in that and all give that some beautiful energy because we're all just human beings. There's nothing that makes us different, really. So, okay, going back to Carrie Ann. Multiple things I want to address with that, Carrie Ann, because a lot of people are feeling that. They're either woo or they're just so depleted. And I've been feeling some of that myself too. And this is on a this is a multi-fold or multiple reasons why really is the word I'm looking for. First of all, the energy is a very high vibration. Unfortunately, we have this dichotomy, if you will. Okay, we've got the very low vibrations that are humming along. We see it in the vitriol, we see it in all kinds of things going on. And then we have this higher vibration that has been lifting and lifting, and the light workers, and just where we're going to as a humanity. Okay, and I kind of equate it to I know I've seen it in my work also. The higher that I ascend, as I continue to vibrate higher and higher, I keep working on that for myself. And because the higher I can go, the more I can help people. Okay. But we all are doing that. That's part of what this time frame is about. It's about kind of pushing us into the direction of unconditional love, of compassion. Okay. So whether you realize it or not, you're on that journey with everyone else. Okay. Think about it this way, though. You kind of have two forces, if you will, battling each other. That's kind of a real world way of putting it. And sometimes I do that because I find that people can understand that best in more of the, earthly, physical, real world kind of wording. Okay. And so what happens is the intensity of the energies on both sides, your higher vibration and your lower vibration is what I would call it, are revving up. And when I say revving up, or let me put it this way, not revving up, intensifying. And even though it might be going like this, it is going faster and faster and faster. And so we are energy beings. So part of what you're feeling, my dear, are those energies and the energies that are battling. And I say I've seen it in my world because I have to admit, the more I am growing and getting out there in my business, in my psychic world, in my psychic business, the more I'm seeing, believe it or not, and it happens to quite a few people, I've seen it, more and more scammers are showing up that are trying to get a hold of my participants and things like that. And I know some of my clients or people that have been participants in my lives, like with the readings and stuff, have been a little distressed about it. And I reassure them, and I get it. And I just say, I just see it as the more I get my light out there, the more I get out there to help more and more people, the more I've got, let's say, this lower vibration that's like battling me, so it's going to show up more. Now I'm going to tell you, they're not taking me down. I'm here. I've got a purpose, so I'm here and I know what my purpose is, and it is to bring love, light, and compassion to as many people as I can, not just from doing these lives and sharing what I know, but also through my private sessions that I do, helping individually, and the teachings that I do. I mean, I just all of that. So I want to reassure you, for me, I know that. So now, when I talk about lower and higher vibrations, I don't want anybody to be in fear. It's not about fear. It's just about holding your own. And if you feel unable or you're concerned about that energy, call on Archangel Michael. Archangel Michael he protects us. Archangels really don't have a male or female sex, male or female gender, but because his name's Michael, we say him. Okay, but I'll tell you, in my career, I've been faced with some energies. I'll leave it at that. Um, and I have even at times turned to Archangel Michael. Usually I can handle it myself, but there have been times I have to turn to him. So just know if you ask him, he's going to show up and he has to help clear. And you have every right to ask him to. It's not like he's going to go too busy. Okay. So that's a part of it. The other thing is, as our vibration is rising, that is taking more energy, and our bodies are trying to adjust to it because it is a higher vibration. If we're used to vibrating here and we're all of a sudden up here, we have to have a little bit of adjustment. And because this is happening at such a quick pace and happening in such an intense way, we are feeling more drained. And I have been feeling it here and there too. That I'm a bit more tired than usual. And I know it's my physical body adjusting to the vibration that I'm moving into more and more. It's the fact that as this has been occurring, my connection with spirit has gotten stronger and stronger and stronger and stronger. So I know the energy is, if you will, more and more energy or stronger energy is coming my way. Now I can handle it. It's just an adjustment period. So it's not like I'm worried about it or concerned about it. And that's what I'm trying to say to you. Don't necessarily have to be concerned about it. Now, listen, I'm not, if you feel that medically you have to go see someone, please do, because that's not what this is about. I'm not saying, oh, I'm not a doctor. I'm not diagnosing anybody. I'm just saying, in general, some of that tiredness. Plus, if you think about it, no matter where you stand in the vibration, we all know there's a lot of hate and vitriol and just junky stuff going along. Thank you, Carrie Ann says great thoughts and insight. Thank you. I've got more for you. Here it comes. So think about this. I kind of look at all this energy flying because I look at it as flying because it's being flung from every direction. It's exhausting us because energy, it's all energy. The words, the thoughts, the actions, the feeling, it's all energy. And you're an energy body. So because it's getting flung all over the place and it is a heavy energy, it smacks us, if you will. And it's kind of like being smacked over and over and over and over. Well, it's going to wear you out some, right? So, it's kind of like on the physical. You think about, I don't know why they said food fight, but it's kind of the same thing. If all this food is being flung at you, part of your innate reaction is maybe to dodge it and duck on it. But if you get hit by something, it hurts or it's an ow or, it's not pleasant. Okay. So to put it again in real world kind of terms, that's the same thing of what is happening with some of this energy. That's why it's so important to, as Laura put it, she detaches, unplug. You can take that on a not spiritual, take it on the physical or energetic level is what I will say to that. It's why we need more and more to feed our souls, okay, our higher selves, the happy stuff, the stuff that makes us feel good. Lighting candles, incense, talking to your bestie, watching a movie that makes you laugh, doing something that fills you up some. Because think about it, if you're in a food fight all day, you're going to be worn out. I mean, I know I would. You're just, you're going to get hit over and over. So that's part of why we're feeling tired too. So what I'm hearing Spirit say is to make sure that you honor yourself in that. Okay. I'm telling you, I am hearing from so many people that this is the state they're in. Okay. Like I said, this is where I began. We're all living in trauma. I know it's a strong word, but it is a deeply distressing time right now. No matter what your beliefs are, no matter what side you're on, which I don't even like using that because we're all really, ultimately, we're all on the human side and we all just want love, acceptance, compassion. And I know that that's at the core of who we are. Okay. So just understand that we will get through it. We'll be a happier place. We'll be in a happier place. And when you're feeling those things, really, really step into some self-care, whatever that is for you. Okay. Because, and I know some people just want to stand up and yell from the rooftops what they believe. I get it. I get it. But if you look at what's happening around us, like I from what kind of my perspective, but also Spirit said it, nobody's really being heard anyway. I mean, people are just talking over each other. So what I'm trying to say is it's not about not having, civil conversations or discussions or being open-minded. But it's being mindful of where you are expending your energy and where it makes sense that you could possibly have a positive effect versus just wanting to be on the rooftops and shouting because you're scared, because you're feeling the trauma. Listen, we're not only feeling our own personal trauma, we're feeling collective trauma. Okay, but in our own personal trauma, the other piece of this is we are being asked in order to get to, let's say, for lack of a better way of putting it, the other side of things. We have to go through this chaotic squeeze, right? If you will. That's how I kind of look at it. And so we are being asked because of that. If we're going to land in a space of unconditional love, acceptance, compassion, we're being asked to heal ourselves more. That's why a lot of us are feeling so much of it too. We are being asked to thank you, Angel Heart. She says, I love that we're all on the human side. That's very true. Okay. So that's where some of this heavy energy or this tiredness or whatever is that we are feeling, because we're being asked to get truthful with ourselves and to find the love for ourselves. How can we truly be part of a loving world and unconditional love if we can't even find it for ourselves to some degree? And that just brings me to what Spirit just said is just remember, as a human being, there's no such thing as a perfect human being. Listen, I'm a survivor, so I know all about the beating us up and the fault, and it's always my fault. I mean, I've done a lot of healing with that, and I've learned to have grace with myself. And when I slip, because I do, I recognize it, and then I shift my focus again. Because you were here for a reason. If you were perfect and didn't have any of this stuff, if you will, you wouldn't be in human form. You would be in spirit, in spirit only. You would be at ascended master level. Okay. So have some grace and compassion for yourself. So, okay, guys, let's get some more interaction here. Give me some thoughts if you have about what I've said so far, what you might want to add to it, or if there's a different topic that you have a specific or a question or comment about a specific topic other than what we're talking about. Please put that in the comments, because as I've said many a time, I'm not going to just sit and talk at you. So let's talk about, I'm going to shift it. Not that was a heavy topic, but I felt that we could put it into a more positive space, because I see a lot of people grasping for that. How do I get through this? So again, choose what you know you can have an effect on. Okay. Limit yourself. Now, this is the other thing I'm hearing. It's not anybody's job to convince another person. You can have a conversation. You can share your thoughts. You can share your feelings about things. But especially when you're interacting with somebody who may see things differently, it's going to be really difficult at times to have this holding on to this piece that I can change it. I can change it. You would do yourself a lot better to just and it would be much healthier for you to just, if you can, have a civil conversation about whatever the topic may be. Then you can share your ideas, but be careful not to feel like you have to convince this person, because I'm hearing from Spirit, plant the seeds. You've already tossed the water or put the water, you've already watered them. Your job is done. It's not for you to unearth them, look at them, yell at them, tell them you got to grow, and shove them back in the ground. Okay. I know that was a little, an odd kind of analogy, but that's what came to me. So, remember that piece of it too. So tell me, you guys, what's another topic you want me to cover? Because I don't want to keep necessarily talking about this piece. I feel like Spirit's telling me it's time to move on. And let's talk about happy. Well, um, okay, I got it. I heard him. Again, remember we're moving towards a better place. We really are. Okay. There have been tough times. Okay, Carrie Ann says, two ears, one mouth, use them wisely. Yes, sometimes anger ups to people just need to feel heard by others. That's right. That's what we were talking about, how we all want to feel like validated, that our opinion matters, that we feel loved, that we matter. So it's true. And unfortunately we're seeing a lot of people yelling over each other or yelling at each other. Happiness is a good one. Absolutely. Happiness is yeah. I mean, isn't that what we were all looking for? The happiness, the joy, the love. And yes, Carrie Ann, it's true because ourselves, we have felt that. We just want to be heard. Sometimes it's just so infuriating or we're so fed up or it's bubbling over that we, right? Okay. Now, if you do get in that space, it's okay. Forgive yourself. Don't beat yourself up. Oh, I should. There is no should or shouldn't. It's all learning experiences. Okay. So let's look at again a little bit more of where we're heading. In history and even in our own lifetimes, I know we've all have been on the roller coaster. Okay, we've had very high highs, we've had very low lows. And the one thing that we are assured of is life does go on. What it looks like, we don't always know, but it does go on. That's number one. So remind yourself of that when you're most, let's say, frightened, scared, or what have we. Okay. Also remember what we pay attention to, we draw to us. That's a tough one. I used to worry all the time about certain things. And yeah, I learned my lessons. Went through some tough times with that. Okay. It doesn't mean that I don't slip into that every once in a while still. But I also don't allow myself to because I know that what focusing on, if it's in fear, worry, all I'm doing is actually giving it more energy to develop and manifest. Okay. And again, I know that's just that it takes time and awareness to get to that space where you can stop yourself. But anytime you start to feel that worry, or what if, we have sayings in this society, and that as I've gotten older and wiser, I now understand where they came from. Like that wonderful saying, you'll cross that bridge when and if. Okay. I used to spend a lot of my time worrying about things that never came to be. What a waste of my time and energy. When I could have been using that time and energy to manifest what I want, create what I want to see coming for me and to me. Or I could spend it all the time on the worry, which is just wasted. It's kind of like pouring bottled water just down the drain, just keep opening up okay. So that's not to be, like wag a finger or oh my gosh, or that's terrible. But it's a reminder. It's a reminder that like attracts like. Okay. When you're on a vibrational frequency, you're going to match somebody else or something else will match your vibrational frequency. That's why the beauty of healing, the beauty of having grace with yourself, the beauty of shifting your habits, the beauty of being aware of some of the self-defeating thoughts and words we say to ourselves. We say things to ourselves that we would not utter to another human being. Why? What does it accomplish? Nothing but to lower your vibration, make you feel bad about yourself. That accomplishes nothing. If there is nothing else that is your purpose on this earth, it is to live the happiest, healthiest, most positive life you can. You are a spiritual being and you deserve that just as much as anybody else. So remember that piece. Now let me see what Carrie Ann says. I'm hoping during these times that people start to embrace their creativity and gifts like a new renaissance. Well, Carrie Ann, that's a really great thought, because what I can tell you is I believe that is part of it. Yes. So many people are just living life. They're maybe not happy. They're not following their dreams. They're stuck in the, I got to do this because this is what I've always done. Okay. I can appreciate it from the human side, the fears, the anxieties. We do have some human needs that must be met. But part of this purpose of what we're going through, part of the purpose of what we're going through, is to help us to truly identify and find what our true happiness is. Okay, what do I mean by that? Think about this. Human nature is, from a lot of people, is, let sleeping dogs lie, as they say. Don't disturb it. I'm going along in life. It's okay. People don't necessarily always take the time to sit back and go, am I really happy in this life? But you see, all this trauma, all this energy, all the things that are going on right now, people are reassessing. People are reassessing what type of life they want, what their goals are, the people they may or may not want in their lives anymore. We're seeing a lot of that. And because human nature can be stubborn, and a lot of human beings fight change, sometimes things have to get ramped up to a point where in some ways we almost don't have an option. We always do have free will, free choice, okay? But I believe that for us to get to the other side and to really truly live the life that we were meant to live here, we need to embrace the fact that we deserve to be happy. We deserve to move towards what truly fills our heart. Now, again, it's not like I'm reading and saying, change what you do for a living, or, this is a broad statement. But I am finding more and more people, and a lot of my clients are coming to me talking about their future, what they really want in their future, what's important to them. So this is a wake-up call in many ways. Okay. And I've been saying that, a lot, human nature is, resist change because we get comfortable and it's going along. It's okay. Most times, if you look at your own life, what times in your life did you have the biggest, most monumental changes and shifts? Usually when things weren't going the greatest, kind of shook you up. Okay. So I'm saying all these things, I'm sharing all those things because no matter what it looks like, and it's not pretty, okay, there's so much good, so much positive that is creating out of this. And we haven't even seen the tip of the iceberg because we're all in the process of a massive shift. Okay. So we encourage you, and I say we, me, myself, and my spirit team, and your spirit teams, to do the best you can to stay in your positive. Do the best you can to see this. It may be difficult, but in many ways, it's a gift because so many people are just slogging through life, just slogging through and getting by. If you were to ask them, are you really happy? Some will say yes, absolutely, and some truly are. But a lot of people struggle in so many different directions and are not sure how to create a better life for themselves, or that they really aren't as happy as, so all of this chaos, all of this also, there's a lot about the COVID and people isolating and being alone, and it's tough. I live alone. I understand. I get a little antsy sometimes. I'll walk the hallway, so I get it on the human level. But I also am very aware, as probably a lot of you are too, that this is giving us the time and space to really get real with ourselves, to look inwards, because we've always been so busy in the outside world, running here, running there, social media, doing this, doing that, getting together with friends, getting with family. Our lives were just rolling, rolling, rolling. But think about this. The tectonic shifting that we're looking at happening, and where we want to arrive on a global level, it's got to start with each of us, because our own world, our own individual world needs to shift into that direction in order to have effect on a global level. It has to do with the ripple effect. It's just like the pebble in the pond. You throw it in the pond, you have that one ripple, and then it concentric circles out, and it ripples out further and further and further. So each one of us is a huge, huge part of this journey and plays a part and are very important to the shift. We need every single one of us, as many as possible, that are feeling the calling, that are feeling the energy, that want more. You're part of the plan. You're part of the plan on how we can shift our worlds into a more loving, peaceful, compassionate, caring, quality. I mean, I could just go on and name it. So many beautiful, loving, and such loving, beautiful energy. And think about the peace that can create for every single one of us. Where we're not fighting on a daily basis to survive. We're not fighting on a daily basis to be loved or to feel loved, to feel the decency, to be treated decently. It's about creating it almost a world that is innate. Okay? Going back to our true nature of our spiritual selves. We're all unconditional love. I know sometimes I sit back and I think about the utopia. I mean, I understand there's physical world to this. Okay, I'm not kidding. I'm not like deluding myself in any way. But what I can tell you is, in my journey, on my individual path, my individual journey of this piece, the more I have shifted into that space, I can't even tell you the immense amount of joy, happiness, and peace I have been able to experience. Am I saying it's nonstop? Of course not. I'm human too. But I have to tell you, I feel so blessed that I have achieved that point where I can experience that. And it is, and I'm telling you, it may seem for yourself like, how do I do that? I get it. This has been a journey for me, okay? It hasn't been a short, brief journey either, because I come from a past of totally opposite. But the more I work it, the more I experience it, the more I know it's possible, the more happiness and joy I have. I don't worry so much. And when I do fall into that, again, I remind myself. I give myself my tools to help myself. I don't go, oh, why are you being that way? Why are you being negative? No, I say, okay, Elyse Ann, that was negative. So let's cancel clear that. And let's put it into a positive. Let's put out there what you really want to create, what a loving, positive thought can be about it. And I do that. It's been a practice of mine. I don't. I'm much more innately. It comes to me to be positive. So I am proof positive that a person can change. Total 180, because I grew up in a lot of negativity, a lot of not just glass half empty. It was really a glass an eighth of the way full, and that was it, if even. Okay, so I come from the background. That was my foundation, and I've learned over time by working it and talking to myself and using my tools and my techniques to shift it. And I laugh a lot more, and I feel happiness. And it's such a beautiful gift. And it's a gift I've given to myself, but I've also leaned on my spirit team to help me with it. So I feel it's a beautiful gift from the universe too. And so I'm here too to encourage you that you too can get there. You too can work it to whatever degree and level you want to achieve more happiness, no matter what's going on outside your world. Okay? We do have choice. Yes, some things we do have to get involved in. Some things we do have to confront or handle or manage. I'm never here to say, oh, don't be human or just negate the human side. That's opposite of what I say. I firmly say over and over, you have to embrace both sides because they're both real experiences. The spiritual side having a human experience and the human side having a spiritual experience. So, with that being said, I want to say we're almost near the end here. Does anybody have any last comment or a very quick question that you'd like me to address in the last few minutes? I'll wait a moment to see if you would like that, if you have anything to say. And let me just a few little things here I'll add in here. Again, I'm so glad you joined for the weekly Table Talk Thursday live event. Please remember to follow and like my Elyse Ann Psychic page so you get notifications when I go live. If you ever have a particular question, a question about a particular topic or something that's been on your mind and you want to have a open forum, you want to address it here so we can get everybody's ideas and thoughts, and you want some answers maybe or some guidance in specific ways or topics, please let me know. Reach out to me, messenger, email, whatever. I'm on Facebook a lot, or at least I always have it open just about. Never thought I'd say that, but it's true. And don't forget about the weekly Wednesday live mini reading event. That is 11 a.m. After this weekend will be Mountain Standard Time. I'm so glad you all joined us tonight. Thank you for the feedback and the interaction. I love this. I'm here for all of you. I'm here to help. And let's just keep doing it. Just keep putting one foot in front of the other, step by step. And Spirit just wants to remind every single one of us, we're all loved. We are loved, and we are all loved, and we all deserve love. And just our being is unconditional love. So with that, I want to say much love to all of you. May you have a blessed evening or afternoon or morning, depending on where in the world you are. And thank you for joining us tonight. And I hope to see you again real soon. Take good care. Blessings.